coached middle school basketball for about 7 years. Basketball's brutal. You can just look around and say, yep, 7 feet tall, 6'5", jump out of the gym. You can tell the athletes. You can't always tell the entrepreneurs. Because being an entrepreneur is about what's on the inside. All right? So the fact that you guys were selected, I want to tell you congratulations. Somebody saw something in you that you could represent this brand, represent student entrepreneurs in this area. All right? We got a team effort tonight. We're gonna jam-pack training for 2 hours. Okay? We got a couple guest speakers coming in. First one is Pastor Brandon Reddick. I'm going to pass it off to him. We've got Luke Shaver here as well, one of our staff members. We'll have Ryan Lawn-and-Tree coming out. But give your attention to Pastor Brandon Reddick. Pop it up. Let's get him introduced.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. As Joe said, my name is Brandon Reddick, and I'm one of the business coaches with Student Startup. I want to reiterate congratulations to all of you for being a business owner. And the reality is Student Startup is entrusting their brand to you. You should take pride in that. It's an honor. Now, with being a business owner comes responsibility. All right, I'm a preacher, just so y'all know. And so where I'm from, we do call and response. I say something, you say something back. All right, we're going to practice that. Here we go. Everybody say responsibility.
Responsibility.
That's your word. This is your business. You have to take pride in it. The business will only go as far as you take it. It's not on us, it's on you. We're going to give you everything we need. We're going to pour everything we can into you to make you successful. But at the end of the day, it's on you to make your business succeed, to make it prosper. So with that being said, let's talk about some responsibilities. One, you have customers. You have customers. Without customers, you have no business. All right? That's basic business. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. Your customers are to be valued. Value them. Honor them. What might that look like? You should treat each and every one of your customers like they are VIPs.
That's right.
Each and every one of your customers, you should treat like they are VIPs. Matter of fact, I want you to treat each and every one of your customers like they are your only customer. You treat them, after you get done serving them, they should feel like they are some of the most important people on earth. That's how well you should serve your customers. I think we should do that because that's just how you treat people. And then there's this saying. It's not original with me, but I'll share it with you. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Anyone ever experienced bad service? I'm asking a question that I need to respond to.
Yes.
Okay. Has anybody not experienced bad service before? Really? You've never had bad service?
Oh, no, I thought you meant
No.
you had good service.
Yeah.
It's good to not.
Yeah, the negative. Yeah. It's true.
Double.
We hated it. We hate bad service. Matter of fact, it makes me angry. It gets under me, underneath my skin. We don't want that. We don't like it. We don't appreciate it. So we shouldn't do that to others. So we treat others like we treat our customers like they're VIPs, like the most important people. One of the things that I've learned, on Sundays, I've had to train myself this way. On Sundays, at the end of the service, I go to the back or the front of the building. I don't know which one it is actually. And I stand there and I shake hands. So when people leave. Now let me tell you something. I hate this. I hate it because I'm an introvert. Okay? I'm an introvert. I like being alone. That's who I am. But I sit there, I stand there with my wife and my family, and we shake hands this whole time. Now, but I used to worry because this person would come through the line, and I'm just trying to get people through the line. One, because I'm an introvert, all right? I don't like small talk, okay? But the other thing is, I'm like, all these people are waiting in line. But then I was convicted. I was like, oh no, that's not good. Because I'm treating this person as if they don't matter. And so I've had to discipline myself to say, whoever I'm talking to, I'm going to focus on them, and I'm going to act like no one else is there. That person that has honored me with their presence and their time, and they want to share something with me, I need to treat them like they're the most important person, like they're the only person there. That's how you treat your customers. And guess what? For you, this is how you build loyalty. This is how you build loyalty, when you treat people this way. You want loyal customers. Loyal customers won't leave you over something silly like price. They won't. I'm giving you another example from my church. I started the church, so it's kind of like I'm a business owner in a way. I started it. I had to get money. I had to fundraise, get money. I had to get people, all this other kind of stuff. So I kind of been where you are. So I forgot where I was going with that. Sorry.
Leaving people over price.
That's right. But I still don't know where I was going with that. So I'll come back to it. So we expect loyalty. That's where I was going with that.
Yes.
How do you build loyalty? No, I don't remember where I was going with it. So let me move on. We expect top-notch, first-class service and quality. We expect top-notch, first-class service and quality. It has been said that good is the enemy of great. Good is the enemy of great. Expect greatness of yourself. You have already demonstrated that you have that ability. You're in this room. So every time, be great. Provide great service. I want you to eliminate a phrase from your vocabulary now that you're a business owner. Here it is. Good enough. Never be satisfied with good enough. Good enough is never good enough. Good enough is never good enough. Not if you're providing top-notch, first-class, superior service. The way you are successful in business or in anything in the world is you have to differentiate yourself. You have to set yourself apart from all the rest of your competition. One way you do that is you provide top-notch, first-class service. I remember where I was going with my story. So we just bought this building, well, we bought it a year and a half or two ago. We were at another building. We had issues with the grass being cut. And so we just said, hey, instead of waiting on our landlord to fix this problem, we're just going to take it on ourselves to make sure the grass is cut. Because when people come onto our campus, we want to put our best foot forward. You know, we want to make a good first impression. So we want people to appreciate, feel like they're welcome. We don't want them to come feeling like they're going into a forest because the grass is so high. So I called Joe and I asked him if student startup could help us. He was like, oh, we're too busy. So then I actually had to go and find somebody else to come and cut our grass. So we got several quotes. And you would think that a new business, a new church, with limited funds, would go with the lowest quote. We didn't. When we were remodeling our building, we got quotes from different architects. You would think, and maybe we should have, you would think we would have gone with the lowest quote for the architect. We didn't. We actually went with the most expensive. Why? Because they went over and beyond what was expected of them when they gave us the quote. The people that we use now at our church for our lawn service, they told us straight up from the very beginning. They said, listen, we're not the cheapest, but you're going to get great service. We're going to do it on time, all the time. They've kept their word, and they've kept our business. When we could get Joe Blow on the corner to do it for a lot less and save us some money. But he would be unreliable, I'm dependable. And maybe a little hot, but that's neither here nor there. Okay? And so I want you to be like the people that service us. I want to hire you to come and overlearn in my church, even if you're not the cheapest, because I believe in you, and I want to get top service. You're gonna be there when you say you'll be there. That's another responsibility. You need to be a man or woman of integrity. Do what you say you will do. Keep your word. Keep your promises. If you say you'll be there at 9 a.m., be there. When I was going through an internship program, here's what they taught us when it came to being on time. Here was what I was taught. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. To be late is unacceptable. Get that in your mind now. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. To be late is unacceptable. So, you want to treat people the way you want to be treated. Your reputation is on the line at the end of the day. I'll come back to you. I forget that real quick, so let me finish this. I'll come back to you. Your reputation is on the line. And people talk. You know what the best form of advertising is? Word of mouth. And if you are servicing a certain neighborhood, neighbors talk. They'll say, don't use that debit here. Shabby quality, never shows up on time. Question? Yes, sir.
Can you repeat that?
To be early is to be on time. That's the most important part. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. To be late is unacceptable. Got it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it true that like one saying is one client that has bad reviews gets to 10 people, one client that has good reviews gets to like 3 people?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard that. You guys? They say yes.
That makes sense.
They say yes. Okay, now, responsibility and providing good service means that you're going to have to learn to communicate. Let's do that thing again, that call and response. Everybody say communicate.
Communicate.
Okay, listen. So I've got some teenagers in my house, and sometimes I wonder if they know how to talk on the telephone. All right? This is the generation where I'm concerned about if y'all know how to talk on the telephone. You know, where you call somebody, you actually hear their voice, and it's not through Instagram or TikTok or something like that. Like you're actually talking to them real time. All right? All right? So you need to communicate with your customers. Don't leave your customers in the dark. Tell them what you plan to do. Tell them when you will be there. Be on time. If for some reason you can't make an appointment, this is, and by the way, when I say you can't make an appointment, this is not like, well, my girlfriend wanted me to come by. No. We're going to have a conversation about that. Okay? I'm talking about like, you're on your way to the emergency room. Can't make an appointment. I'm not even going to take my equipment broke. Go borrow somebody's. I mean, like, you can't make an appointment. If you're going to miss an appointment, it's got to be something that's a really big deal, an emergency. Remember, this is your business. Your reputation on the line, and at the end of the day, it's going to affect your bottom line. So, if you, for some reason, you cannot make an appointment, you need to communicate that to your customer. Pick up the phone, call them, tell them, and ask if you can reschedule. You have to communicate. So, responsibility, communicate, and here's the next one. Be responsive. Be responsive. Our best practice here with Student Startup is that if someone calls you, they don't get you, they leave a message, it's expected that you call them back within 24 hours. Call back within 24 hours. And I'm telling you, that old lady who has nothing left to do, she's not going to wait 24 hours. She's going to call you back soon, so you want to beat her to the punch. There's no point in waiting. Just do it. All right. Now, we're all human, right? Which means that we're prone to mistakes. We mess up sometimes. We forget. I'm the king of that craft. Okay? It happens. So when you mess up, what do? Ready. I want everybody to write this. Okay? Even if you throw it away at the end of this, write this down. This is important. When you mess up, number one, own it. Own it. O-W-N-I-T. Own your mistakes. There are some people whose personality or whatever, or they lean towards making excuses, blaming others. Look, nobody wants to hear that. You messed up. Own it. One way you own it is by being honest about it. Yeah, I messed up when I did such and such and such. Own it. Next, apologize for it. Sincerely apologize for it. I'm giving you another story of mine. So I told you I was starting this new church, and part of starting this new church meaning that I had to develop a donor base. And so that required a lot of meetings. And so this one guy, he said, I'll meet you after work. Meet me at 4 o'clock at Wendy's, of all places. I didn't know what to expect from him financially when he said meet me at Wendy's. But anyway, that's not the point. So he said, meet me at 4 o'clock at Wendy's. I said, no problem. I told you I'm an introvert, right? People drain me. All right? I like people, but they drain me. That's part of being an introvert. So about, let's say 2:30, 3 o'clock, I climbed into bed, and I was going to take me a quick nap. All right? Now, I knew I was in trouble then because I don't take quick naps. All right? They have to be a minimum of an hour and a half. All right? My grandmother used to say, boy, you don't take naps, you just go to sleep. So I like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And so I took a nap. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take me a quick nap. Just give me a little boost. And then I'll head to Wendy's on the west side. I'm an east sider. I'll head to Wendy's on the west side. I wake up, it's like 4:30, 4:45. I'm supposed to be meeting a donor. This guy, I'm going to ask this guy for money. I slept right through the appointment. He's texting me, hey, we're still on, you're coming. I'm not responding because I'm out. I am not out. I messed up. What I could have done is made up some excuse as to why I didn't make it. I called him. I said, Arlen, I'm so sorry. I had the meeting, I was planning to attend, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. I slept right through it. I fell asleep and I was planning to get back up, but I overslept. I'm so sorry. You know what he told me? The first thing he said was, you know what? I just appreciate you being honest. Yeah. That's exactly what his words. He said, I just appreciate you being honest. Guess what happened? He allowed me to reschedule, and he still gave me a check for thousands of dollars. Honesty pays off. That's the whole point of that little story. Sometimes it won't work out. I'm not promising you it's going to always work out. That sometimes you're going to make someone so upset, they're not going to have to do anything with you. But you know what? You can still live with your conscience saying, I did the right thing, which is tell the truth. So own it. Apologize for it, fix it. That's number 3. Fix it. Own it, apologize for it, fix it. Maybe you forgot an appointment, and if maybe the way you fix it is say, I can come over right now and do it for you. Is that okay? And then maybe you even throw in a 10% discount because you messed up. The fact that they allowed you to keep their business, that's a win for you. Fix it. 4th, this is the most important. Second most important, because honesty is a big deal of mine, big value of mine. 4th, don't do it again. Don't do it again. I've got one more thing to cover, but before I move on, do you have questions? Okay. Finally, now that you're a business owner, you want to grow your business, yes?
Yes. Yes.
Now that you're a business owner, you want to grow your business, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Let me not even try to remember. One of the things that I'm mindful of, even in my own organization that I lead, is that I want our congregation to grow. Numerically, financially, spiritually, in every way, I want us to grow. But one thing that I'm reminded of, and I can't remember who the business author was, but, it may have been Maxwell, John Maxwell, who says that the leaders are actually the lid on the organization. The organization, what he argues with is the organization will only grow as far as the leader can take it. So guess what I always have to be doing? Growing myself. If I want the organization to grow, I have to always be growing. Up until this last semester, I was trying to read 2 books a week. My son is like, I can never do that. He hates reading. Because I want to always be growing. My primary textbook is a book that's several thousand years old. That requires a lot of work. I must always be growing. My main customer base, per se, is people. People are very complex individuals. I must always be growing in my understanding of people and how God has put them together. I must always be growing in my craft. I preach. So I have to always be growing in my delivery. I have employees that report to me. I have to be growing in my management skills and my leadership skills to lead them. I don't want to be the barrier to our organization growing. Same thing for you. Your business will only grow as far as you'll take it. So you must always be growing as well. So, what does that look like? Our expectations of you are that you are either reading a book or listening to an audio book. To grow. Reading is fundamental. Even as an adult, it's fundamental. Joe, you have to remind me, what's the expectation as far as quantity?
Yeah, so here's the cool thing. So it's on you. You're the business. If you want to be lame-o, the same-o for the rest of the summer, then you don't have to read any books. But if you do read books, if you read 2 books a month, we'll actually pay you a bonus of between $10 and $20 per book you read. Because we know the better you grow, the better we're all going to grow, right? So we ask for 1 to 2 books per month while you're working.
Okay.
It's really easy. I mean, if you're mowing a lot, you can listen to a whole book in 1 day.
Yeah. Brandon, how many did you knock out last summer, would you say?
I don't know, probably close to 30 or more.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I probably could have read more, but I'll listen to it a little bit.
Good for you. There's this book.
I'll get it back up.
All right, we'll come back to the book. Secondly, another way you grow is by going alongside somebody else. mentor. You need a mentor. You will be assigned a mentor. We'll find you a mentor. And what we expect from you is for you to pursue that mentor. Don't make them be the ones always coming to try to meet up and talk. You go get them because you're hungry. That's one of the three things that we're really passionate about: being hungry, hustle, people smart. You must have a hunger to grow. So go pursue your mentor. All right? There's this book that we'd like for you all to read. Is it really this expensive?
It's yeah. So the audiobook is free. All of you guys have a link.
Oh, okay.
All of you have a link. All of you have a link to this book inside your GroupMe app. But yeah, you can buy the physical book and some cool notebooks and get an app for $50 if you want, or you can listen to the audiobook for free. That's up to you.
All right. And we'd like for you to read that by spring break. We'd like for you to listen or have read that by spring break. What's the name of the book? Oh, okay. Just make sure. All right. That's all I have. I'm going to throw it back to Joe, but before I do that, do any of you have any questions for me? Again, my name is Brandon Reddick. I will always be here for you. If there's anything you need, please let me know. If you come up in some of those situations where you're like, I've got this customer issue, I don't know what to do, and you need some help processing through it, I will help process. I will not tell you what to do. I will ask you questions. And I will say, okay, what do you think will happen if you do this? I will always ask you questions to help you make the best decision. All right? I will help you. But remember, I'm going to honor you as the business owner. I'm a resource, not the source. Okay? This sounds like a hard question. It feels like a hard
No,
question.
it's really easy.
Okay.
You already know.
Okay.
So, do we get your phone number to call you to ask you questions? Or have you ever had your phone number?
You can reach out to me, and then I'll give you Pastor Brandon's phone number.
Oh, trust me, I'll plug you into my phone and everything, and I know how to ignore you. So I'll give you my phone number. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hey guys, energy, clap it up. Let's go. Clap it up. All right, guys. Hey, let's keep it moving. Here's one thing I'll say to just piggyback on this. You can do whatever you want. All right. It's your deal. All these principles that Pastor Brandon talked about, that will be money in your pocket. Dollar bills, making your backside so fat you're going to have to go to the chiropractor. Man. That's what's going to happen. All right. Normally in life, you just need to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. But in business, it has immediate results to your business, all right? So Pastor Brandon mentioned two big ways you grow your business. One is doing a great job, and word of mouth helps you grow. Second way is to grow yourself. That's the best way to grow your business. The third way is to grow together, okay? And I'm going to introduce a partnership we have. Who here has been to a Chick-fil-A in the last month or so? Chick-fil-A? All right. Has anybody been to a Chick-fil-A outside of Wichita? AJ, where did you go to Chick-fil-A?
We stopped in Kansas City.
Kansas City. Mario?
Let's see.
North Carolina. Hutchinson. Now tell me this. How was the Chick-fil-A in Hutchinson compared to the Chick-fil-A in Wichita? Okay. How about you? North Carolina? No different.
No different.
We are the Chick-fil-A of lawn mowing companies in Wichita. All right? You guys are the first group that's going to blow up this whole city. It's going to go Wichita. It's going to go Tulsa. It's going to go St. Louis. It's going to ride on your backs. And just like Chick-fil-A, whether it's Shalini or Jaden or Ethan or AJ or whoever it is, it better be the same quality. All right? And we care too much about the rest of the people in this room to let any one person let the team down. It is your business, but you are representing everybody in this room. So the expectations will be high. High grace. So if you screw up, you own it, there will be grace. All right? But high expectations. Okay? Not only do you have the people in this room in your corner, you also have the best most well-known, respected lawn care company in Wichita has your back too. They believe in you too. Ryan Lawn and Tree Care. They've been the best name in Wichita since I was a little kid. Over 5,000 customers in the Wichita area. Here's what's cool. They do everything but lawn mowing. And if you build trust with them, Josh and company will pad your book with lots of business. Okay? So I'm going to actually invite Josh up here if you don't mind. Let's give some more energy. Let's talk about And we're going to talk a little bit about the partnership we have between Student Startup and Ryan Lawn Tree Care. Josh, thank you for being here. Hey, if you don't mind, we're going to do a little interview style. If you don't mind, tell us a little bit of your background and just a little bit about Ryan Lawn Tree Care.
Okay. I started actually very similar to a lot of what you guys are doing. Actually, my dad has had a mowing business in the Wichita area since I was a little kid, so for 35 years. And so I'm very, very familiar with what you guys are doing. I've been around my entire life. And that kind of got me started in the lawn care industry. So I went to K-State, got a turf grass management degree, and then fell in love with the values and the principles that Ryan Lawn and Tree had to offer. Larry Ryan started the company back in 1987 in the Kansas City area, and has been a trade name in our industry in the Midwest for almost 35 years. And so I started 10 years ago at Ryan, pushing lawns and fertilizing, and then moved into our sales side of things because I had an affinity for trees as well, and so became our certified arborist, and now I strictly deal in all the sales of our lawn and tree care departments. And so that's kind of my pathway at Ryan Lawn and Tree, and just everything, just to piggyback off what he said, everything he said is just everything that I hear on a daily basis, because I have the most interaction with new customers on a daily basis. Dependability, thanks for the call back. All those little things that he just said is so, so very important in our industry, because you guys would be so surprised at how unreliable our colleagues outside of our companies are. It's difficult to find reliable people in our industry, and it's refreshing to hear that we're trying to push this on young folks, because it's so very, very important. And so that's kind of my pathway. I'm here to be a resource for you guys as far as if you have any questions about our services, what we have to offer, kind of anything like that. So,
Yeah. I love it. I'm going to piggyback just a little bit, all right? I want us to think big picture. Why does somebody hire you to mow their lawn? I want to go big picture. Why do they do that?
Because they don't want to do it.
So they don't have to do it. Why else? Like, what are they after in terms of outcome?
They're trying to have a good-looking lawn without the least amount of work.
Bingo. All right, so check this out. So it is by law you have to mow your lawn. That's not why people hire Student Startup. All right? We're not the cheapest. We're the Chick-fil-A. We're a little bit higher than a lot of bozos. Oh, did I say bozo? That's not good. We're not the cheapest in town. But we're trying to be the best. All right? They're hiring you not to cut their grass, but to do what, Brandon?
Talk to you.
To talk to you, yes, and to what? Not to just cut the grass, but to make it look great. To make it look great. Now, here's the deal. What happens if you swing by one day and you mow with perfect stripes? You've got great edging, trimming, blowing. You made them feel so great. And then a couple days later, little things start popping up in their yard that have these little yellow crowns on top of them. All right? And you have these different, what are those called?
Dandelions?
Let's go dandelions and weeds. And if that customer is not serviced with professional lawn care, fertilizing, sprinklers, all the rest, no matter how good you mow the lawn, a couple days later it's going to look bad. Okay? That's why having a partnership with a professional company like Ryan's is so important. All right? Josh, if you could you walk us through a little bit of the customer perspective on why do they, because it's not cheap. Give us some more in terms of the customer psychology of why they make that decision. Kind of talk us through that.
It's a lot of it about, to me, personally, I'm not an introvert, I'm an extrovert. I like to be around people and like to talk to them. It's about building that relationship. Doing what we're doing about mowing the yard, putting the fertilizer down, and spraying the weeds is all secondary. You build that relationship with them, and all that stuff is just an added bonus. And so oftentimes we get that response of, well, I know you're a little bit more expensive, and we hear that all the time, but they don't really care. And the real reason is because We show up when we say we're gonna show up. You have service calls, if you have weed issues, the color is better than anybody else's in the town, because that does matter. We don't water our products down. All those things add up, and if you can get that opportunity to explain to them the difference that you provide and explain those differences to them, it's an easy sell. And it's not like you always have to be selling something, but you become their friend and really their partner when you team up to take care of their yard. And so we would love to do that with you folks as well, because just like you said, that's the biggest thing, is you guys are gonna be out there far more times than we are, because you're mowing 32 times or so a year. We're out there 5 to 6 to 7, but if we can complement that service with you guys and vice versa, if we see anything, or while we're on the job site or while we're on the property, we'd love to have that relationship with the mowers. We have referral networks that we've had. Mowers tend to just be tough, to be unreliable, so if we could ever have that good relationship with you, amazing, I really would.
So if you guys prove yourself to Luke, Coach Brandon, myself, Josh, when you prove yourself, when you pass your certification process, which we'll talk about that in a second, that's going to come spring break. Once you do that, it's a phone call to Josh. Hey Josh, here's my zone. Here's the part of town that I own. This is my area. Could you introduce me to a few people? Who would you recommend I go talk to? All right? Couple things. When you are approaching the conversation, okay, there's two benefits that Ryan's has done specifically for you guys. All right? One is any of your customers who sign up with Ryan's, they get a 10% discount. Okay? So we're about making a win-win for our customers. If you have somebody who needs service and they sign up with Ryan's, they get a 10% discount, which is not common. This is not Kohl's, all right, where everything's always 30% off. All right? A discount with Ryan's is very rare. You guys ever seen a discount at Chick-fil-A? No. That's kind of how Ryan's is. They don't give out discounts, but they're giving something to you guys because they believe in you. That's one perk. Second perk is for every one of your customers, because there's going to be some value here. They're going to serve them well. Your customer's going to be better off. Ryan's is going to be better off. You will be better off because your business has a better reputation. All right? Anybody you associate with reflects on you. But not only that, they're going to give you $25 in your pocket to say, hey, thank you for that referral. At the end of the year, if your customer sticks, it's $25. If you get 10 of your customers, how much money is that at the end of the year? Bingo, $250. They do teach math at the end there. I'm glad to hear it. I'm kidding. My wife used to teach that. All right, $250 in your pocket. So, Josh, I'm going to pass it back to you. How would you approach that conversation? You don't want to say, hey, your yard's ugly. How would you approach that conversation when they're trying to do an upsell to a mowing customer?
That's a good question. I typically, they call me out there because they know their yard is not in very good shape most of the time. So you folks will be out there talking about the mowing service that you provide. Just nudge your foot in the door and talk about, have you ever considered or talked, or do you currently have a lawn care service that takes care of your fertilizing? Just start that ball rolling about asking them and putting it back on them. Do you have someone? A lot of times you'll get the answer, yes. You can say, are you happy with the service? Is there anything that they're falling short on because we've teamed up with? And that's when you kind of can segue into, and I can almost guarantee you most anybody will know our name.
That's right.
Then that could lead into, well, they are doing a special with our customers that if you sign up with us and with them, that we'll be offering a 10% discount. That's kind of how I would just really softly just start getting the gears turning about what you can do to make their yard better. And, because once you start getting to talking to people, yeah, it's fine, I'm taking, well, they start opening up a little bit about, well, they don't really call me when they come out and do the applications, or they leave turn marks from their machines, or they aren't addressing this little area, and they just kind of slowly just let you in on that. And then if you pick up on that and you make notes about it and don't forget it and always remind them of that, or hey, how's he doing on the weeds in this area, or how's the color looking, is it looking good, what do you think? And you just kind of keep working on those things, and then you become a partner and try to make their yard better. And so that's where we step in, and that's kind of the soft way I would try to start directing people in that way. Does that kind of help? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Our program from start to finish can be as many applications as up to 7. You want me to go into that? Is that okay?
Please do.
Up to 7 applications, all the way down to 4 or 5, depending on some people want to stay within a budget. But what I tell folks is I can get you better results with 4 to 5 applications than my competitor's 7 applications. And why that matters is because we're putting fertilizer down throughout the year from spring to fall, and then helping control weeds throughout the year, okay? And so a number of those different applications, if you guys ever want to know the details of what we're doing with each stop, and I'd be more than happy to give you our literature, but basically it's fertilizer, weed control, and growth control throughout the year. That will keep the yard as healthy as possible. And then, I don't know what other services you guys provide as far as seeding or any of that stuff goes. We do anything like that. And folks, when they hear Ryan on Tree 2, they know we do tree pruning and removals, and they know we do irrigation, and they know we do tree care stuff. But that's all stuff that you can that's gonna add to the value of you guys because you have a direct connection. And I like what he said about having us, not on speed dial, but you'll have the ability to call me directly. I'm out in the field all day. If we build that relationship, it's only gonna help you guys. I deal with 30 to 40 people a day, every single day, for the rest of the year. And the question I get asked, especially this time of year, because most people are looking for somebody throughout the year to mow, that's the question they will all want to know is, do you have anybody reliable? And most of my answer is no, we just don't. And I don't like to refer my customers to people that do a subpar job. I just won't do it. I'll say, good luck, go find somebody in the phone book, because I don't want to put our name associated with that. And if you all can prove that that's something that you guys are going to be interested and good at, it only works perfectly. And it really does. So, does that help? And does that?
Hey, can you tell us those questions again? Did you guys notice how he asked questions to lead into the conversation? So the first question was, do you have someone?
Do you have a current provider taking care of the fertilizer? You can word it however you want, but that's usually what you want to ask is something along those lines. Do you have someone fertilizing your yard and spraying for the weeds? You can spice it up however you want. Like I said, if you have a current provider, that's something I like to lead into. And
The second question is, are you
happy or satisfied with your current service?
And what if they say yes?
If they say yes, then you take it with a grain of salt. Say, great, I'm glad you are. If they ever fall short in some area, then I have a provider that works hand in hand with us, and we would love to have an opportunity to take care of your place. Okay? So you kind of lead into that, and then, like I said, revisit that with each stop or anytime there's an issue.
So you're saying like for them it's a 10% discount for your service? Is that like limited or is that?
It would be on the lawn care services side of things, of course, because that's what we're dealing with here, but I'd be happy to negotiate any kind of stuff like that. But I think for right now, we're gonna stick to the lawn care side of things, the fertilizer and weed control programs that we provide, okay?
How long will they get that 10% discount?
Yes.
For the year, I would say for this year.
Okay. How long does that customer, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, no, just get clarification.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How long does that customer have to be retained as a customer with Ryan before they get their referral bonus?
We talked about this actually last week, and the referral bonuses should be paid out in October. So from now until then,
Okay.
if they're still a customer of ours, then I think we're gonna be paying that out by in October. Okay, right before Christmas.
Right when they stop making as much money.
That's
You're
exactly-
gonna want that money.
That's exactly right. So, right around October is what we're thinking, at the end of the season. And that's kind of not when the mowing season's winding down, but our season is kind of the same as your guys' too. So, yes.
Did you say there's a referral bonus for getting our customers as Ryan One Tree?
Yes, there is. That's what we're talking about. So yes, any customer you bring to us directly, and they sign up for a program with us, because they're getting the added benefit of the 10% off, but then you guys will also get the $25 credit, right? $25 credit, referral bonus at the end of the year, okay?
All right, you guys locked in with this? Okay, again, the reason they're hiring you is to make their lawn look beautiful. But we can't do that alone. Partnerships are so important. One other added benefit is the healthier the grass is, the more often it needs to be mowed. All right, and by the way, it's more fun to mow a country club golf course type of yard. Okay, it's way more fun. It's the best work feeling in the world is to say, wow, that looks amazing. Like, seriously, you'll get into it and you will love it. It is a great feeling. It is a great feeling. Josh, I'm going to ask you one more question, and I'm going to give you the last word.
Absolutely.
So these young people are going to be door knocking this coming Saturday and the Saturday after. Again, that's up to you, but that's our recommendation. Walk us through, if you were 17 years old, knocking doors in the neighborhood, I'm putting Josh in the spot here, what would your style be?
I'm making the sale.
I'm making the sale. Knocking on the door, introducing, walk us through.
Well, I prefer not to have a car salesman mentality. I don't push myself on anyone, and I feel like that's a very successful way to make sales. That's how I've always done it. It's been, I feel like, pretty successful. It's more just asking questions, listening what they have to say, and don't be afraid to tell them how great you're going to be. I don't feel like it's arrogant to say, I'm going to be better than him over there. It's just because you're confident in yourself, but you have to deliver. If you say, so many times, he said, I just want to jump up and say, yeah, exactly right. So many times, if I'm going to be there at 3 o'clock, you better be there at 3 o'clock, or 2:50, or whatever. That is so important because you're respecting their time, and that's all that matters to most people, is just the respect that you give them. Yes.
I just have one question. As a business owner, should you set a specific time to go mow your yard? Because personally, I usually say, hey, I'll be there on this day around, 12 to 3 or from, 9 to 12.
That's a feel thing. If it were me, I would ask them what is convenient for them, because then you're respecting their time again, like we're talking about. You're asking them what is the most convenient for you. If they don't have an idea and they don't really care, then that's when you start scheduling in that's more convenient for you. But lead off with that. I prefer not to work too much past 5 o'clock, or you can't work before it gets light out. But you want to respect their time as well. Some people will just get very fussy if you're there before 9 o'clock. It doesn't matter if it's been raining for 8 days and you're trying to squeeze everybody in just to give them the best service. Sometimes you just have to be respectful of their time.
And I would add, especially with that first appointment, so somebody needs lawn care. We're going to be hustling and promoting your businesses for you. Somebody hops out to studentstartup.org or collegemowing.com. There's a couple websites that they all go to the same place. Our office manager, Andrea, she gets the service request. She files it to Brian or Brandon or Kashar, whoever that is, and you have that appointment. That's especially when it's important. Hey, you're going to come at this time, meet them on this day. And then once you have that relationship, when you ask what's convenient for them, they may say, hey, it doesn't matter as long as it's done on Thursday or Friday. But asking them what's convenient for you is that key question. So thank you for mentioning that.
My next question for you is, because you guys handle so much business, what do you do whenever it's raining Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Do you push everybody back a day, or do you take your yards that grow faster and push them up to the front and kind of, the ones that are a little bit uglier and red radish, hang out at the end because it grows fast, or how do you handle that?
That's a great question too.
Does everybody get this? Right? So you can't mow when it rains. All right, you guys all know this, but let's just remind ourselves. So if you're supposed to mow Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it mows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, what do you do on Monday?
That is, if it were me, I would just do the best you can. That's not a very good answer. I would do the best you can to try to keep everybody back on their original schedule, but you have to you can't push them a week. I mean, if it rains 4 days in a row, then you're going to have to wait till the following week and plan to work 12, 13, 14 hour days, whatever it takes to get them done back on that schedule. But the key is to try to get them back on that regular schedule, because that's what they're used to, that's what they wanted. Most people understand the weather, but guys, just remember, as soon as it's done raining, they think it's completely dry and they want you out there tomorrow. So communication is key. If it's so wet that you can't get on any properties, spend all day calling all those folks and saying, I'm going to do the best I can to get out there. If you have 30 calls to make, so what? Do them. And then talk to them and say, I'm going to work you as fast as I can and get you back on a regular schedule. We've had 4 days of rain. It rained 8 inches. I need some time, and we're going to work on it as fast as we can. I'm going to take care of your yards as best I can. Just communicate. Call them, tell them, text them if that's how they prefer to do. But call them, tell them. Hey, yes. Does that help answer your question?
Yes, sir.
You just got to fight through it.
Can I add something to that real quick? I work in the insurance industry, and my job as a claims adjuster was to get people money. People really want their money.
And I also had to work not just with the people who were injured, but I had to work with employers and body shops, all kinds of stuff in my business. One of the things you will learn, because you're going to have great relationships, I thank you for bringing it up, with your customers, is you will know those customers that are much more anal and demanding. You'll know, okay, I need to service them, because these other ones will be gracious and understanding. And so you'll just have to, that's people smart. You know, you have to use some common sense, but you got to know your customers as well to help with that.
That's a great point. You listen to cues in the conversation, and you can hear if they're frustrated, if they're anxious, if you say, well, it did rain, don't worry about it, come back in 5 days, whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of people you need to kind of take mental notes of, okay, I'm going to take care of them, make sure you do, but they're going to give me a little bit of leeway when I have a situation that happens. Because you're also going to have equipment issues too that might potentially put you behind. But like you said, it doesn't really matter, they don't care, they don't want excuses.
Yeah.
Get it done the best way you can. Okay. Yeah,
Question here?
It was kind of answered out about the rainy days, and best option would be like to call them and reschedule, so.
Yes, that would be what I would suggest. Of course, don't be afraid of a little rain. There's plenty of properties that you could go to that you're gonna have to just put your head down and go. Because there's plenty of properties that will dry out. You know, it rains all morning long. Maybe it didn't rain in that certain spot. The thing that I always try to remember with how I handle my business is don't put off, I screw this up, I don't say it out loud, but don't put off today, don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. So if you try to think, and if you mentally check out by 9 o'clock, it's been raining for a couple hours, and you think, oh, this day's dead. By 3 o'clock, it's been dry for 4 hours, and you could have knocked out 4 or 5 yards. That immediately doesn't put you behind now for the rest of the week. So that right there was already a step in the right direction. And it's also teaching you to have some stick-to-itiveness and not be afraid to do things that you have to. You're really on a ball. Sometimes that happens. It just does. In our industry, we don't get messed with our nature. Just do what we get.
Can you repeat that?
Guys, any other? Yeah.
You said don't put off something.
Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today. All that means is don't waste time doing it. Don't put off stuff that you can do today. Just do it right now. Okay? Don't wait till tomorrow to do it, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring.
Amen.
Yes, sir. All right, guys, any other final questions? All right, we're going to take, in just a minute, we're going to take a break. You guys can kind of network with Pastor Brandon, Josh. You guys can network there, ask a few questions. We're going to come back with Luke for some specifics about some training pieces. We'll go through some scheduling. We're going to wrap this up. But before we leave, Josh, any just kind of final thoughts? Anything else in terms of just, you know, being successful as in business, or just anything else? We got folks who are listening.
Yes. Just take this business and really value. There's something that I really loved about Ryan Lawn and Tree is later Ryan started the company, but he made it an employee-owned company. All that means is we all have a small stake in the company. So we're not a privately held company, or we're not a publicly traded company, but each one of us has the value of owning it. So I get customers all the time asking me, is this your business? Well, no, I certainly talk the talk, but it's not really mine. I didn't start it, but it's still my business. It's part of me. So you guys have that unique ability to be able to talk about that as my business, and I'm going to grow it how I see fit, and it's going to do well because of me. And that is very valuable. Really enjoy that, because not a lot of people out there really get to say that. And this industry is unique that way, that there's a lot of business owners, and you guys can do that, and you can set yourselves apart. I can guarantee you can set yourself apart in this industry if you just do a good job and say what these guys are saying. It'll be very easy. I mean, just stick to it. So, yeah.
Guys, more energy. Thank you. All right, we're going to give you guys probably 4 minutes. So at 8:07, we're going to be back here, grab some water, hit the restroom, and we're going to keep going, all right?